So President Tinubu had a choice then. He had a choice to actually go to the Ghana roots and say, Nigeria is technically insolvent, we can't meet our debt obligations, therefore we will default on our debts. And it would have, led to serious economic ripple effect that would have been worse than what we have today. He decided, however, that what he will do is he will devalue the naira, and then remove petrol subsidy. And, then I supported it. I still support it because I believe in principle. The principle of it was the right decision. The action he took, even if not well planned in terms of the effect on Nigerians and the social nets to ameliorate the direct impact and suffering that Nigerians went into, considering that food inflation is over 40% in most parts of the country, it spiraled. But it stabilized the macro. Now, there's a distance between macro stability and nano impact. Nano impact is what Nigerians feel on a daily basis. The keke rider, the POS operator, the kiosk owner, the small business owner, the nano impact. Now, the fact that the government has not done well in fiscal prudence, right? In showing Nigerians the example that, look, we're asking you to tighten your belt, right? We also are reducing the size of government and showing that we're not spendthrifts, okay? Has not really given them that moral high ground they need to explain to Nigerians to be patient. Right? So the reality is that despite the fact that the president is saying they are not borrowing from local banks, the fact remains that the government is still, having DMO issue debts for treasuries, for bonds. You have local and international debts that takes up a major chunk of the budget. Debt servicing for 2025 Appropriation Act is 15.8 trillion. And the government has to borrow 13.3 trillion to finance that deficit. So the president is saying that they've raised 20.6 trillion non-oil revenue for 2025 and has met its target. It's right, for the first 8 months. But the question is, the deficit is another 34 trillion. Where is it going to come from? Considering that NNPC is not bringing in the dollar receipts that is expecting.